Hello, I'm Dr. Anthony Basil, and this is our introduction module for usability and user experience design. So during this module, there are a number of different exercises that we're going to be going through to kind of get you started. What we'd like to do is make sure that you're logged in to not only this session using Teams, but we are also going to ask you to make sure that you check the virtual learning environment for the resources that we have that complements this real-time web video experience. This is an outline of what we're going to be doing over the next session. We're going to be doing something called a tag cloud. So we'll be logging into a resource we call WooClap. We'll be talking a little bit about current events. We'll take a look at assessment skills and academic skills so that you're aware of things like the learning outcomes that we have for this. Then, because it's important to not learn in isolation when you're doing distance learning or online learning, but to find out a little bit about working in a team. And so we're going to do an activity which I think you'll really like, where we call it color psychometrics. And then we'll talk a little bit about project management, because what we're going to be doing in this course is looking at how we can solve a real-world problem, and we're going to do that in a project fashion. There's a great website called projectmanagement.com that I highly recommend, and we'll ask you to get a free account for that. Then along with that, we're going to have a look at some project planning, and that's something that we call a Gantt chart. Next, we're going to be looking in computing for a methodology that we call soft systems methodology. And we'll get a little bit of an overview. You may have heard of mind maps before, and we'll also be looking at a rich picture as well. And then our final activity will be to take a look at some various software that you might want to be using for this particular module. Okay. One of the things that we want to do before we get started into the actual content and information that will help you with the assessment is to do what I'm calling a reality check. And basically, in the beginning, before we get going with each session, we just want to take a couple minutes, find out how you're doing, encourage you to put your video on. You can ask any questions. At this point, we can turn the recording off if you like, or we can leave the recording on if you're having an academic question. But if there are any personal issues, we can do that one-to-one outside of today's session, or if it's something that you want to share with the group, you can. So part of each lesson, then, we want to make sure that we have that personal time to find out how you're doing. Now, I've got some bad news. Okay, I spoke to the people in charge, and what they told me is that our academic class has been canceled. All right. Now that's okay, because that means that we're still going to meet. We're still going to be having our session here and talking about the computing topics. All right, but we're not going to run this time as an academic classroom. Instead, we've been told that we need to run this as a business. All right. Now, this course is about computer usability, user experience, UX, user interface, UI design, and we'll be going through the objectives that we have, the SMART objectives that we have for our case study that we'll be looking at. But instead of running this as an academic course, we're going to be looking at this as if we are running a company. All right. Now, in the text chat, because we're using this in Teams, and we're always going to be having you post comments and any resources that you find in the Teams text chat. We're going to ask you to respond now to this question. Post your answer in the text chat. If we are running this session as a business, that means you're not going to be a student. All right. What is your role in this company? If you're not a student, what is your role in the company? So go ahead and post that into the text chat. Very good. I'm seeing several of you responding. Okay, very good. I see that one of you have said, Jason has said that I'm not a student, I'm an employee of the company. Excellent. That's exactly right. So you're all employees of the company now. That means that in order for the company to be successful, we need all the employees to work together. All right. Another question. Well, then, wait a minute. What am I? If I'm not the lecturer or the tutor, right? I'm not the teacher. What's my role? What's my capacity? Go ahead and post that into the text chat for me. All right, I'm seeing some answers coming up, and we can see that Susan has said that that I'm the CEO of the company. Well, I wish I was the CEO of the company, Susan, but actually I'm just one of the line managers. Okay, so I'm a little bit lower down than the CEO, the boss of the company. I've got to report back to him. I've got to make sure that he knows that we're doing our job. So this, you can see, is the change. We're not looking at this as a university course. We're looking at this as an opportunity to develop our business. Okay, so let's find out a little bit about you as one of the employees in this company. So what we're going to ask you to do is go to this online tag cloud. So it's www.wooclap.com/uppercase letters, all uppercase letters, OETTLM. So that's on the screen. I will copy and paste that into the text chat right now for you. And then you can click on that link. Or if you have your smartphone, go ahead and scan that QR code, that square in the bottom left corner, and that will take you directly to our tag cloud. Now, have any of you heard of a tag cloud before? Do any of you know what a tag cloud is? Maybe you may have heard this referred to as a word cloud. Okay, I can see that Mohammed is saying that tag cloud, in the text chat, Mohammed is saying tag cloud is words to make a shape. Okay, yeah, that's true. It's going to be all the words that we're putting in. It's going to be dynamic. It's going to be real time. So answering the question, what's needed to be successful in this module, that means that we're going to need you to put as many words in that you think, any skills, any knowledge, whatever you think coming into this, we're going to need to develop, and then pop that into there. You can put in as many words as you like. So as you can see, our tag cloud is forming here on the screen live in real time, and the words that are used the most often, that you're using the most, are going to be the biggest. So one of the words that you can see here is usability. Usability. This is something that, well, user experience, usability, that's one of the key elements of this module. So yes, we're going to need to develop our understanding, our academic knowledge of usability, but then we are also going to need to develop our skills. So we'll need to learn how to use different software. We'll have different skills for testing for usability, and we're going to apply that knowledge and skills in order to develop a prototype. So what we're going to be working on is research. We're going to also be working on development and design as well. All right, so moving on. One of the things that we're going to do in each session right at the start is take a look at current events. The nature of working in the IT industry and computing is very dynamic. It changes every week. So what I'm going to ask you to do each week in this time slot, okay, is to take a look and see if you have found any issues, any items, any news, anything that's come up this week that's caught your attention. We're going to give you the opportunity to contribute to our current events. Now, last semester, I had one of the students do this, and they came up with this really interesting article in the Mirror newspaper. So I'm going to copy this link here right now, and I'm going to put that in the text chat, and I'm going to ask you to open that article up, have a quick read, and then we're going to take a look at this and see, what does this have to do with usability? What does this have to do with user experience or interface design? So open that article up. As you can see now, from doing a quick skim, reading through, this is something that's happened recently in the news about the National Rail. And go ahead and post, if you can, for me, please, a quick summary. All right, thank you very much. I can see that Susan has posted that this is a web page for the National Rail that was changed due to one of the royal family passing away, dying. The National Rail wanted to show their recognition of this and show that the respects to the royal family. And so what they've decided to do was change the website from the normal colors and normal layout that they had to just black and white and gray. Okay, now, what was the result of that? What happened? Okay, pop it in the text chat. Let's see what you think. Okay, yeah, I see some people are putting in that there were a number of complaints about the website because people weren't able to use it. Well, why couldn't they use it? Go ahead and put in the text chat, or if you have your microphone, you're welcome to put your microphone and video on. Okay. Isaac is saying that the color scheme may make this difficult for people to read. Absolutely, that's exactly right. So when they changed this color scheme, they didn't really ask the users of the website, what their opinion would be, or what, they had a meeting, made the change, and then the next day, people that wanted to use the website to book tickets couldn't use it. And they had, dozens of people emailing and complaining and calling in, and so they had to change it back, of course, all right? But This falls into an area that we call accessibility, and we'll be looking at user experience and accessibility principles, and also some government regulations. We'll be taking a look at that. So thank you very much for doing that exercise with me, and we're going to stop the video here. You can carry on and look at the PowerPoint slides after the break, but thank you very much for your time.